Something's missing in today's bikes. The soul, the grit, that feeling that used to grab you. But Indian just brought it back. They dropped 5 brutal machines for 2026. Real steel, real torque, real attitude. Stick around, because the best one's coming last. Number 5. Indian Scout Rogue 60. If there's one bike that proves you don't need flash to make an impact, it's the Scout Rogue 60. This isn't a machine trying to impress with chrome or digital dashboards. It's simple, raw, and locked in with purpose, and that's exactly why it stands out. At first glance, it grabs you with its tough look. Matte finishes, blacked-out pipes, a solo seat, and a short quarter fairing that gives the front end a sneer. It's lean, it's low, it looks like it's ready to fight even when it's parked. But this bike isn't just about the looks. Underneath all that attitude is a smart, capable middleweight that delivers far more than you'd expect at this price point. Powering the Scout Rogue 60 is a 1000cc liquid-cooled V-twin that puts out 78 horsepower and 65 pound-feet of torque. That's plenty of muscle to launch you off the line or slice through traffic. And because the torque comes in low and stays steady, it feels strong without ever being scary. Just twist the throttle and the power shows up. Predictable, smooth, and right when you want it. The 6-speed transmission is clean and crisp. Whether you're shifting up through the gears or downshifting into a turn, it feels mechanical in a good way. No lag, no fuss. Just solid clicks and clean delivery through the belt final drive, which, by the way, helps keep things quiet and low maintenance. And here's the thing, even though this isn't a massive bike, it feels planted. At 545 pounds wet, it has enough weight to feel stable at speed, but it's still nimble enough to handle twisty roads or crowded city riding. The 25.6-inch seat height makes it super accessible, especially for newer riders or folks who want their feet flat on the ground at red lights. Handling is a big win here. The telescopic fork up front and dual rear shocks in the back, with preload adjustment, give it a solid mix of comfort and control. It's not a magic carpet, but it doesn't beat you up either. On city streets, back roads, or even a rough patch of pavement, the Rogue 60 stays composed. Now let's talk about the cockpit. You've got mid-mounted foot pegs that center your weight and mini-ape handlebars that rise just enough to give you that upright, confident riding position. It feels natural and in command. You're not hunched over or stretched out. You're locked in, ready to ride. The seat might look basic, but it's more comfortable than it looks. Padded just right for daily commutes or weekend rides. And because it's a solo seat, it fits tight against the frame, helping the whole bike stay clean and compact in design. Instrumentation is simple and to the point. A single digital screen gives you the essentials: speed, gear, fuel level, trip info. That's it. No ride modes, no menus. Just what you need, right where you need it. And honestly, it's refreshing. This is a bike that keeps your eyes on the road, not on a screen. Lighting is full LED across the board. The headlight is bright and sharp, giving you a clear view ahead, while the dual exhaust adds just enough growl to remind everyone you're not riding a toy. It's not obnoxious, but it lets people know you've arrived. Fuel range is solid too. With a 3.3-gallon tank and real-world mileage around 45 miles per gallon, you're looking at around 150 to 160 miles before you'll need to stop for gas. That's more than enough for daily use or weekend fun, and with this much attitude, every mile is going to feel like a win. So what's the verdict? The Scout Rogue 60 is a middleweight that rides like a heavyweight. It punches way above its size and doesn't apologize for keeping things simple. It's stripped down, straight up, and made for riders who just want to ride, not scroll through settings. Next up, we're scaling up the power, but keeping that raw edge. Think bolder lines, deeper torque, and no screens in sight. Number 4. Indian Chief Bobber Dark Horse. Some bikes ask for attention. This one takes it. The Indian Chief Bobber Dark Horse doesn't try to be polite. It shows up with a deep rumble, a blacked-out look that means business, and a presence you feel before the engine even turns over. This is the kind of bike that strips motorcycling down to its most raw, honest form and dares you to ride it like you mean it. Let's start with what you see first. The Dark Horse is built low, long, and unapologetically tough. The spoked wheels, the chopped fenders, the flat black finishes from headlamp to tailpipe. This isn't chrome and flash. It's steel, stance, and that dark, shadowed attitude that gives it its name. The front tire is thick, the rear is clean, and the whole bike feels like it was carved from one solid block. At the heart of it all is the Thunderstroke 116 engine. That's 1,801 cubic centimeters of pure, air-cooled American muscle, putting out 120 horsepower and 120 pound-feet of torque. But those numbers don't tell the full story. The power comes in low and stays strong. It's not high revving drama. It's deep, immediate force. Twist the throttle and the bike lunges forward with a steady, satisfying surge. You don't just ride this engine, you feel it through your hands, your seat, and your boots. The 6-speed transmission delivers solid mechanical shifts. Each gear change clicks in with weight and feedback, like you're working real steel instead of tapping buttons. The belt final drive keeps the ride smooth and quiet, but the torque still hits hard. And because there are no ride modes, no settings to toggle, and no filters between you and the motor, it's just you, the throttle, and the road ahead. At 676 pounds wet, it's no featherweight, but that weight is low and centered. The 26-inch seat height plants you down in the frame, not perched on top. That deep in the bike position makes slow-speed handling feel steady, while highway cruising stays calm and locked in. It's the kind of geometry that builds rider confidence instead of needing to be muscled around. Suspension is tough but fair. Up front, the telescopic fork handles road imperfections without diving. Out back, dual shocks with adjustable preload let you tune it in for your weight or riding style. It's not plush like a tourer, but it's not punishing either. This bike rides like it looks. Firm, grounded, and built for riders who want to feel the pavement under them, not float over it. The Mini Ape handlebars rise just enough to put your arms at chest height, giving you that old-school cruiser posture with plenty of control. Floorboards replace foot pegs to keep your stance solid, and the thick solo seat locks you in place, especially under hard acceleration. It's a riding position that connects you with the bike and the road all day long. You won't find screens or gadgets here, just a single round digital gauge neatly built into the tank. It tells you your speed, gear, fuel, and trip, but nothing more. No distractions, no clutter. It's clean, simple, and stays out of your way. Lighting keeps with the theme, functional but stealthy. The LED headlamp throws a strong beam at night, while black-finished dual exhausts carry the sound of the thunderstroke straight to your chest. The tone is deep and steady at idle, then grows into a full roar as the revs climb. It's not fake. It's not tuned to impress a sound meter. It's just real. One thing you won't find on this bike? Storage. On purpose. There are no bags, no racks, no frills. You want to bring something? Strap it on. But most riders won't bother. This is not a machine for errands. It's for escapes. Fuel range is reasonable for the style. With a 4-gallon tank and mileage around 40 to 42 mpg, you'll get about 160 miles on a tank. Enough for a morning blast through country roads or a solid afternoon of getting lost on purpose. At the end of the day, the Chief Bobber Dark Horse earns its name. It's not here to show off. It's here to ride. Hard, loud, and without apology. No screens, no ride modes, no fluff. Just throttle, torque, and road. If bold bikes with real soul are your thing, subscribe now. We've got plenty more coming your way. Now, if you like muscle but need comfort for the long haul, this next one's got both. Number 3, Indian Challenger Elite. Not every bike is built to chase the horizon. Some are built to own it. The Indian Challenger Elite is one of those machines. It doesn't whisper, it roars. And not just in power, but in presence. This is a bike that doesn't force you to choose between performance and comfort, because it delivers both in full. Let's start with the Power Plus engine, a 1,768cc liquid-cooled V-twin that pumps out 122 horsepower and a crushing 128 pound-feet of torque. It's not your granddad's bagger. This engine is sharp, modern, and tuned for serious muscle. Throttle response is instant. Torque is thick from the bottom and stays strong through the mid-range. You don't need to wring it out. It's ready when you are. The 6-speed transmission keeps things smooth at any speed. Whether you're pulling hard out of a corner or cruising in 6th down the interstate, the Challenger Elite feels ready to leap or relax on command. And with a belt final drive, you get quiet, low-maintenance power delivery that just works. But it's not all about straight-line muscle. What surprises many riders is how this bike handles. Weighing in at 874 pounds wet, it sounds heavy on paper, but Indian has dialed in the chassis. Thanks to an inverted front fork and a Fox rear shock with electronic preload adjustment, the ride is balanced and planted. You feel the road, but not every bump. Turn-in is confident. Lean angles are better than expected for a bike this size. It's a cruiser, yes, but with the bones of something much more capable. The braking system matches the muscle. Dual Brembo 4-piston calipers up front bring serious stopping power. Combined with ABS, the bike stays stable and confident even under hard braking. Whether you're in the mountains or dodging traffic on a cross-state run, it feels like it's got your back. And then there's the look. The Challenger Elite doesn't hide what it is. It's bold, glossy, and muscular. The sharp fairing gives it an aggressive, wind-cutting edge. LED lighting all around keeps visibility high while keeping the aesthetic sharp. The hard saddlebags are sleek but strong, weatherproof, lockable, and part of the frame's flow. Every detail is intentional, every line designed to signal. This is not just a touring bike, this is a power cruiser in dress clothes. Rider comfort is a major win here. The wide saddle cradles you for the long haul, while the floorboards give your legs room to adjust throughout the day. A power-adjustable windshield lets you control airflow with a tap, keeping the wind where you want it, or out of your face entirely. Combined, it turns long rides into something you look forward to, not just survive. But where this bike pulls away from the rest is in the tech. The 7-inch Ride Command touchscreen is front and center. It's bright, responsive, and easy to use, even with gloves. Built-in navigation, Apple CarPlay, and Bluetooth audio turn your ride into a rolling command center. Whether you're streaming music, getting turn-by-turn directions, or checking your ride stats, it's all right there. Unlike some bikes that slap on a screen as an afterthought, this one integrates tech in a way that feels seamless and useful, not distracting. And yes, the storage is massive. With 18 gallons of combined capacity in the saddlebags, you've got room for weekend gear, daily essentials, or even a passenger's overnight bag. These bags aren't add-ons. They're built into the bike's identity. Clean lines, flush fit, and designed to move with you, not against you. Fuel range? Solid. With a 6-gallon tank and fuel economy around 35 miles per gallon, you're looking at roughly 210 miles per fill-up. That's enough to ride from San Diego to Las Vegas without stopping, or cruise the Blue Ridge Parkway from end to end with just one planned fuel break. It gives you freedom to plan big days without constantly scanning for gas stations. The Indian Challenger Elite is what happens when a bike builder refuses to compromise. It delivers brute force performance, refined comfort, and real-world practicality, all under one slick, blacked-out skin. It's not for the timid, it's for the rider who wants it all and isn't afraid to say so. But let's rewind. What if you wanted old-school looks without giving up on modern muscle? Number 2, Indian Super Chief Limited. If motorcycles could speak, the Indian Super Chief Limited would have a deep, steady voice, and it wouldn't need to shout to be heard. This is a cruiser that shows up with quiet confidence. It doesn't chase trends or try to be flashy. Instead, it leans hard into what's always made American bikes great: steel, leather, and torque you can feel through your boots. From a distance, the Super Chief Limited looks like it just rolled out of a 1950s motorcycle magazine. Wire-spoke wheels, full steel fenders, and that classic teardrop tank. It's all here. But this isn't just retro for retro's sake. It's craftsmanship with purpose. The tank is stretched and low, giving the bike a grounded, flowing profile. Chrome details and brushed aluminum finishes add depth without being over the top. And the stitched solo saddle isn't just good looking, it's built for real miles. Underneath all that throwback styling is a beast of a motor. Indian's Thunderstroke 116 V-twin powers this cruiser with 120 horsepower and 120 pound-feet of torque. It's air-cooled, yes, but don't let that fool you. This engine pulls hard from the moment you twist the throttle. There's no waiting around for power. It comes on strong and steady from idle, giving you that deep, deliberate surge of torque, whether you're pulling away from a stoplight or rolling into a highway pass. The 6-speed transmission is tuned to match the engine's character. It's not slick and silent. It's mechanical, deliberate, and satisfying. Every gear change feels like part of the experience, not just something in the background. The final belt drive keeps things smooth and quiet, with less maintenance than a chain and none of the mess. Braking is handled by dual front discs and a single rear disc, all supported by ABS. It's a solid setup that brings the bike to a stop with confidence, even when fully loaded. Suspension is classic but capable. Telescopic forks up front and twin rear shocks with preload adjustment. The ride is stable and controlled, especially at cruising speed. You won't feel floaty or disconnected, but you also won't get beat up on rougher pavement. Ergonomically, the Super Chief Limited is built for long-haul comfort. The wide floorboards let you stretch out, and the pullback handlebars keep your arms relaxed and your posture upright. The saddle supports your lower back and spreads your weight evenly. Exactly what you want on a long day in the seat. Add in the quick-release windscreen and you've got weather protection when you want it, and clean lines when you don't. Instrumentation is refreshingly simple. A single analog speedometer sits front and center with a digital insert that covers your basics: gear position, trip meter, fuel level. No apps, no overload. Just the info you need. Lighting follows the same philosophy. Full LED, but styled to match the classic lines. The headlamp throws a wide, clear beam, and the rear lights tuck in nicely under the bags and fenders. Speaking of bags, this bike comes ready to carry. The Super Chief Limited includes genuine leather saddlebags that are soft-sided but reinforced to hold their shape. They close with actual buckles, not plastic clips, and they stay put at speed. You've got room for a weekend trip or your daily gear without needing to bolt on anything extra. Fuel range is solid too. With a 4-gallon tank and an average of 42 miles per gallon, you can expect around 170 miles per fill-up. That's plenty for most day rides and gives you the flexibility to plan longer loops with fuel stops that feel natural, not forced. You could easily ride from Los Angeles to Palm Springs and back without ever worrying about finding a pump. At $21,999, the Super Chief Limited isn't cheap, but it's not trying to be. What you're buying isn't just a motorcycle. You're buying a feeling. The rumble of an air-cooled V-twin under you. The weight of real metal in your hands. The smell of leather and the clean snap of a mechanical shift. This bike is about the ride, not the tech, and that's what earns it the number 2 spot. It's not here to impress with screens or modes. It's here to remind you of what riding used to feel like before all the gadgets and gimmicks. It honors the past, but it rides like the present. Strong, stable, and full of character. And now for the crown jewel. Clean lines, rumbling heart, and the most soulful ride in the lineup. Number 1. Indian Scout Bobber 20. Some bikes whisper, others hum. But the Indian Scout Bobber 20? This one growls. It's the kind of machine that doesn't just turn heads, it snaps necks. This bike isn't built to impress with tech or pamper you with features. It's built to ride, to move, to make your pulse beat a little louder every time you walk past it in the garage. And that's why it takes the number 1 spot. This is Indian going back to its roots, then stripping everything down until only the essentials remain. You've got raw steel, a raked stance, and a silhouette that looks like it's doing 60 just sitting still. It's a machine made for riders who don't need 10 modes or a color screen. If you want throttle, torque, and a reason to hit the road every morning, this is it. Under the tank, the Scout Bobber 20 runs a 1,133cc liquid-cooled V-twin. It delivers 111 horsepower and 72 lb-ft of torque. Plenty to keep things interesting whether you're ripping through back roads or carving up the city. But the magic isn't just in the numbers. It's how this engine feels. Twist the throttle and it responds with a growl that's sharp, not sloppy. The power comes on smooth, but with just enough attitude to remind you you're on something real. The 6-speed gearbox adds to that raw feel. It shifts clean with a bit of resistance that feels mechanical, in a good way. It doesn't glide like an electric shifter. It clicks, it clunks, it engages. And every time it does, it makes you feel more connected to the ride. The chassis is light, agile, and responsive. At 553 pounds wet, the Scout Bobber 20 is no featherweight, but it carries its weight low and even. That means tighter turns, quick lean-ins, and solid balance at stoplights or low speeds. For a cruiser, it's surprisingly playful. You're not dragging knees, but you are grinning every time you flick through an S-curve. And it looks like a proper throwback rebel. The wire-spoke wheels, the chopped fenders, the solo floating saddle, it's all pure muscle with a bit of vintage flavor. The fuel tank feels like it was carved to fit the frame, not just bolted on. And the finishes, matte black, deep gloss, and raw metal, make it look just as tough as it rides. Let's talk seating. This isn't a touring couch. It's not meant to cradle you for cross-country rides. But that thick solo saddle is just right for shorter blasts and mid-range runs. The Mini Ape handlebars rise up just enough to give you that arms-out, chest-up posture without feeling awkward. And the mid-mounted foot pegs let you ride in the bike, not just on top of it. It's locked in, low-slung, and made to be ridden with intent. Instrumentation stays true to the bike's minimalist vibe. One round analog gauge mounted cleanly up front gives you speed and a few digital basics: gear, fuel, trip. That's it. No menus, no ride modes, no distractions. You don't scroll through options, you ride. Lighting is all LED, but in a way that keeps things classic. The round headlamp throws a crisp, white beam at night, and the bullet-style turn signals blend in so well, you almost forget they're there. The dual exhausts have a deep, tight rumble. Not obnoxious, just present. It crackles when you push it and settles into a rich tone when you ease off. Now let's talk range. With a 3.3-gallon tank and fuel economy around 45 miles per gallon, the Scout Bobber 20 gives you roughly 150 miles before needing a top-off. That's not endless touring range, but it's perfect for a spirited Saturday, a loop through the hills, or a ride out to a favorite diner 2 towns over and back again. It makes fuel stops part of the rhythm, not a worry. At $13,499, this bike isn't trying to be the cheapest, but it's offering something more valuable: feel. It doesn't ask you to choose between past and present, it gives you both. Mechanical soul, modern bones. Steel and fuel, rumble and roll, no gimmicks. The Scout Bobber 20 isn't built to do everything. It's built to do one thing better than almost anything else out there: connect you to the road. And it does that without needing to explain itself. This is why it's number one. Not because it has the most features, not because it's the most expensive, but because it's honest. And sometimes that's all you really want from a motorcycle. Something that doesn't pretend, it just delivers. That's our breakdown of the boldest Indian motorcycles hitting the road right now. 5 machines, each with their own soul, style, and statement. But what about you? Which one would you ride and why? Drop your pick in the comments. And if you want more real motorcycle talk, without the fluff, like this video, subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. Because the next story, let's just say, it might involve a ban, a backlash, and a whole lot of angry riders.